Mr. Vavi, I want to get to union matters in a moment, but let me just clear something up. I understand that you might at one time have been a professional boxer. As a boxer, were you a hothead or did you have a good defense?
I was an aggressive boxer.
Okay.
I had huge advantage. My height,
yes.
And I use it effectively, and my power. Don't be fooled by the size of my body. I was a featherweight, and I was a junior lightweight. And
yes.
In those days, aggressive and a knockout specialist. That's why they named me, gave me a nickname after Thomas Hens, the knockout specialist at the time. And up to this moment, people in my township call me the hitman.
Yes. Okay. So, in a way, if you're going to be a political leader, you want someone who can either win on points or win by knockout, because every struggle is different. So let's talk now about the South African Federation of Trade Unions. 1 year old this month. It's growing, and you, in your active Twitter account, talk very proudly about how big it's becoming. Is that, though, necessarily a good thing for the working class? Because your traditions have always been maximum unity, everybody moving in the same direction. A big, strong opponent to, for example, COSATU is, would you not concede, a mixed blessing?
I tried everything that I could to avoid the implosion of COSATU. I went to the ANC over and over, and I cooperated with the COSATU process led by Petrus Mashishi and others. I cooperated with Sidney Mufumati's initiative, and I spoke passionately inside the structures of the Federation. I have all of that in tape to say there will be an implosion, there will be a destruction if you hell-bent on dismissing the biggest union in the country for political reasons. I failed. I went to have a deep conversation with the leadership of FEDUSA and NAFTU, and I thought that they understood the importance of the moment that South Africa was losing it where it matters most, the unity of workers.
Yes.
I failed. They remain outside despite my best attempts. I have not stopped trying. Even for this strike, by the way, we wrote to COSATU, FEDUSA, and NAFTU to say, but the things you have signed are exposing workers to the worst forms of attack. You're taking away from them the right to strike. You are entrenching inequalities, poverty amongst workers to be a permanent feature of the politics of the country. I said to them, please, let's join hands. Let's fight these battles together. Forget about whether you committed mistakes in the negotiations, but at stake now was the very future of the working people. The creation of SAFTU is a very important step. It's a first step. I recognize that. But there's still 1 million miles that we must travel. And we cannot travel that mile without the 76% of workers who are currently outside the trade unions. And so our goal must always be unity of that 76% of workers, but even important, the unity of the 24% of workers who are in different unions as we speak.
You're vigorously opposing the minimum wage. You're saying it's too low. On what basis do you argue that? Because the other trade unions accept that this is a step in the right direction, that it's not what it should be, but it's a beginning. Surely that is the way you negotiated from your early days as an organizer in the NUM. You didn't get everything you wanted.
Absolutely.
Round one, but you came back for round two and you built it over time. Why is this campaign different? Some might argue that you're doing this to win votes.
Not at all. Let's have a discussion based on the context of what we are trying to achieve. We've seen 24 years of democracy. What do they say to workers? The 24 years of democracy say to workers, you have become the victims of unemployment, you are too poor, you don't have a purchasing power, you have been, your jobs have been reduced into precarious forms of jobs, you are being outsourced, you are being labor brokered, and you are being made casual workers, some of you 20, 30 years. Your levels of pay have been kept low. Your share of the national income have declined since 1991, is now way below 50%. The income inequalities have grown tremendously. You are the face of the other world, of the marginalized majority, and your employers are the face of the other world. They who live in opulence, who earn gratuitous amounts of money at your expense. That's what we are trying to do. We've become the most unequal society in the world. Your national minimum wage discussion can't be resolved in that broader, can't be resolved outside the broader economic malice that workers are subjected to 24 years into democracy. In our view, this 20 rand and our 15, 18, yes, and 11 rand is too much of a compromise.
What should it be? How much should it be?
It just entrenches the status quo. It entrenches poverty, inequalities, and at least we should have been inspired by the martyrs of Marikana, who died demanding 12,500. There's an example of outsourced workers who were marching and they won 10,000 rands a month. The national minimum living level in this country is 5,400.
So how much should the minimum wage be?
It should be 12,500. And it's not even a living wage, as I was saying. Nobody, me and you, cannot live on the 12,500. We know that. But we can't be expecting everybody else to live way below that.